So, welcome back to I'm screaming. I need to calm down.
Someone's excited.
Got in it. Welcome back to Once Upon a Time in the New Republic, the podcast where we talk about the Mandalorian. And this episode, we are talking about Chapter 4, Sanctuary. All right. So, what? Just general impression. What do we think about this one?
I think it's a good episode, but I think it was a little lackluster after episode 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked beautiful. I can say
Beautiful. It looked good, but Andrew, anything?
I thought it was pretty good. It was different from episode 3. I don't know. I'm still trying to get the vibe of how this whole ride is going to kind of play out, you know, because this kind of seemed like it could be like a standalone episode, but, you know, like it still kind of flowed in the overall storyline.
There are little nuggets embedded in this episode that are very telling things. Okay? This does seem like an episode of the A-Team kind of thing. It's a Magnificent Seven sort of homage where, you know, the few weary heroes train the locals to fight off the bandits, and you know, so in that sense, it kind of fits into that cookie cutter of a TV episode A-Team kind of thing, but there were a lot of interesting things to be found if you look a little closer in this episode. This is the much lauded Bryce Dallas Howard episode. And, you know, I don't know that she's directed much anything. Did we look this up before? Did she do a short or something?
No, she did a few shorts and like some TV episodes or something.
Oh, really?
Like that.
She did do some TV?
I think, if I remember correctly.
And while I was watching it, I kept that in mind. You know, okay, this is BDH, it's BDH, and I thought it was really good, man.
Yeah, the directing,
the pacing was good. There was no dead spots. She put the things in she needed to put in, and yeah, man, I think she did a good job. And I think she only gets one episode. I'm pretty sure she's only doing one episode. So that's kind of a bummer. I would have liked to see her do another one. Maybe another one that was a little more pivotal as opposed to just, you know, a monster of the week kind of thing. But yeah, I thought she did a good job, man. So yeah, all worries put away. No problem, man.
Yeah.
I thought she did good. Okay. So, are you looking up something pertinent, or are you texting someone who lives far away?
No, I'm looking up Bryce Dallas Howard's directing.
Oh, okay. A little faster. We kind of moved past that.
Well, okay, so she's directed a short TV miniseries, a video.
What was the TV miniseries?
The TV miniseries is called Vanity Fair Decades.
I've never heard of that.
And she directed one episode of that. She did M83, which is just a 2013 video. Call Me Crazy, a 2013 TV movie. Soulmates, a short. One episode of The Mandalorian. She's going to do Dads, whatever that is, and The Originals.
Okay. Good for her. Yeah. Cool. I guess she's in an episode of Black Mirror, but I thought maybe she directed an episode of that too, but apparently I am wrong. Okay. So anyway, this episode starts, oddly enough, with blue shrimp.
I bet those are tasty.
So apparently we've got a planet with a highly racially diverse group that appears to be an indigenous tribe in a small village in the middle of nowhere. They all dress alike, so that means they're one people. And apparently they are shrimp farmers. There's like, I don't know, a handful of little huts surrounded by these little...
I think they're called krill.
These little... krill. Shrimp, same thing. Then surrounded by these little pools that apparently their grandparents seeded. I wasn't quite sure what
harvest.
that... Yeah, but he was like, we seeded these... Our grandparents seeded these... Seeded? It's not wheat, motherfucker. These are shrimp. How do you seed shrimp? What, your grandparents came and put a male and a female shrimp in there and just hope for the best? What do you mean you seeded it? I don't know. Maybe they have to plant shit for the fucking shrimp to eat. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So these people kind of hang out in their little village and they grow shrimp. We see a little kid and she's chasing a frog. I guess it's just frogs across the galaxy. It is every planet. The desert, Nick Nolte's desert planet had frogs. This forest planet has frogs.
These frogs were blue and black, while Nick Nolte's were a dark army green.
It looked like they had one eye too. Were they Cyclops frogs, or did they have two eyes that were stacked on top of each other? I don't know. They moved too fast for me to tell. But there was
Cyfrog.
Something goofy going on with these frogs. Okay,
They
were space frogs. Anyway,
frogs.
So then we get a shot of Julia Jones. She's been in Twilight and Wind River and a little bit in Westworld. So everybody knows her from Twilight, though. She was the female werewolf. Anyway, so we get a shot of her, and that's her little girl chasing the frog, and everything seems okay. One thing I thought was funny, okay? Now, when you see these people in their little village and their thatched huts and they weave baskets and all this shit. They've got a fucking robot droid that's carrying these nets full of shrimp. I'm like, really? I mean, I understand that we're trying to do a traditional story, but we're setting it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where they have spaceships and they can travel at light speed and shit. But, I mean, that's just strange to me. That's like Fred Flintstone having Bluetooth in his car, It's like, I mean, these are like natives that, they have to build a fire at night for light and shit, but they have a robot that harvests fucking shrimp. Shut up.
Yeah.
I think they even had like one of those, oh yeah, they did. They had that fucking sled thing that a droid drives, like the one that Mando was riding in the last episode.
Hey, these were donations.
Yeah, I guess. We got these at the Goodwill, man.
Does that farm bot speak
Droid will.
bocce, though?
Do you speak bocce?
Of course I do, sir. So that seemed out of place. I've got written down here. Robot helper? Really? Okay. So then we hear some Jurassic Park booms, some footfalls, and we hear some boom, boom, booms. You don't really see anything, but then some lasers come out of the woods, and everybody runs and scatters. And then we get a big herd of Star Wars Uruk-hai come out of the woods. And,
Find the shrimplings!
So they steal all the shrimp, and they're just general thug bad guy, If one of the little kids had just like dropped a doll and then the guy could have like stepped on it or ripped its head off and been real mean or something, that would have been just over the top. But yeah, so the bad guys come and they steal all their stuff and they're all, oh no. Julia Jones grabs her little girl and hides under a basket, so these guys aren't too bright. But anyway,
don't pass gas. Don't pass gas.
Yeah,
don't pass gas.
Don't burp. And one of the guys on his way out, he like stabs their droid.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Fuck you.
It's like, it's bad enough that you took all my shrimp and my muffins, but my shrimp and my Cheddar Bay biscuits. But now you got to stab my droid in the eye. What an asshole,
It'll take months to repair.
Right. So that's the cold open. There is the village gets raided by the Star Wars Uruk-hai and
Spaceworks.
And these people
Sporks.
lose their shrimp. So
not the shrimp.
So now we cut to Mando flying in the Razor Crest, and little Yoda's sitting there on the control panel, and the gear knob is back. Okay, it's been replaced. Yoda didn't eat it. And little Baba Yaga's sitting there, and he starts flipping buttons, just fucking with shit, And Mando's like, hey, don't do that. And he flips another button, and like the ship almost crashes or some shit. And he's like, "All right, damn it!" So he picks him up and he puts him in his lap.
Best part of the episode, right there.
Right. So Mando's looking on his little space GPS, and he's like, "We get a planet name. We finally get a planet name.
Oh, did we?
It's called Sorgan."
Oh,
Sort of
I missed that.
anticlimactic, kind of lame name. Anyway, so this planet's called Sorgan, right? He says, there's no spaceport, there's no industrial stuff. So really, this planet is just some fucking huts and shit. Where the fuck did the droids come from? Damn. Okay. Anyway,
Droid will, man.
yeah, droid will. So he's like, okay, we can go there and lay low. He calls Yodi a womp rat. So he flies over and he's looking for a place to land. And it can't be a very big planet because he flies right over that fucking village. And they see his ship and it's kind of silly, but I guess they just assume that's a good person that they could go talk to. So they send these two assholes on the sled to go find him, right? So Mando lands and he's like, okay, I gotta go find some lodging for us. So he puts Yoda in the pilot seat and he says, "You stay here. Don't touch anything." Yeah, that's gonna work. This kid's always fucking with shit when you're right next to him. So he goes down like he's gonna go take off, and he starts lowering the ramp. And when the ramp comes down, Yoda's standing right next to him. This kid is fast, man. He's fast and he's silent. He'd make a good
Force
ninja.
run.
So I guess they walk 100 yards and they come across an alien hibachi restaurant in the middle of nowhere. So they walk in. Yoda does a really good job of keeping up with old Mando. They walk in and people are kind of looking. They're looking at little Yoda. Little Yoda's
Space
walking
Garfield.
through there, and a space chicken cat growls at him.
Space Garfield.
That's a loth cat?
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
so this is where like they could have tied rebels in full force.
Oh, okay. This is a rebel thing?
Yeah, so here we go.
Uh-oh.
So Rebels starts out on this planet called Lothal,
Okay.
which is where one of the Jedi Padawan protagonist is from, and that planet has a Jedi temple on it that not a lot of people knew about, and that's kind of the two Jedi and Rebels go back and frequent that place, but it was controlled by the Empire after the events of Episode 3. A small Rebel cell originated there. That's the Spectre team and the ship Ghost that people kind of talk about, and that same ship was actually seen in Rogue One.
Right.
But one of the indigenous species on this planet is the Loth cat.
Okay.
And they make a big deal about that. And there's like some ties between the Loth cat and the Force, because it's a very Force, I guess, prevalent planet. There being a Jedi temple and all that. And
Mhm.
so it's they come back to those little creatures a couple of times, and when Ezra Bridger, that's the Padawan's name, he's learning the Force and he's interacting with those cats and stuff. So
Okay.
it's kind of cool for them to throw that in there. So like
So that was fan service
Yeah.
to the Rebels crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I
It
don't
looked
know.
like a fuzzy beach ball with chicken legs
Yeah.
hiding under a table to me,
Yeah.
but okay.
I don't know why, but after you describing that, I could just see one of those loft cats walking up to someone. "You want to give me Meow Mix?"
Yeah.
You want to
Force-
drop your chicken leg.
Force sensitive cat.
Yeah.
So Mando and little Baba Yaga, they go over and grab a table, and there's a convenient booster seat, which is convenient for little Yodi to sit in.
Little Yodi.
So Mando orders some bone broth for the kid, and he notices Gina Carano. I can't decide if I want to keep calling her Gina Carano or if I want to call her by her Star Wars name, Cara Dune. What do you guys want to call her?
We've been calling her Gina Carano.
Kara or Gina. Yeah. Okay.
I'll stick with Gina.
So anyway, and Mando notices her through the waitress. He notices that she's over there, at first I thought the first time I watched it, I thought maybe they knew each other before, but but after I watched it again, they don't. So anyway, he asks about her, and she's like, I don't know, I've seen her here for a couple weeks. And he's like, well, what's her business? What's she do? And she's like, I don't really know. I mean, And so he throws a coin at her, to like bribe her and shit. Like she's holding out for some money. He throws a coin at her, and she's like, oh, thanks. I'll get that broth right away. She just didn't understand what the fuck was happening.
And I'm throwing a flagon of whatever the hell.
He was like, oh, damn, these backwoods ass people. So anyway, when the waitress walks away, Gina's gone. So he's like, shit.
Throws another coin at the chick.
So he gets up and he goes to walk out to chase after her, and he throws another coin at the waitress, and he says, watch the kid. And she's like, oh, thank you, sir. But no one's ever given me money before. So he goes outside, and he's like, where the hell did she go? Where the hell did she? So he pushes a couple buttons on his little gauntlet, and his Predator helmet changes to infrared.
Yeah, I was going to say something about Predator vision.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he sees her footprints go around the corner, and then they disappear. And then, of course, he looks up, and she jumps on him. So, I need to change my page here. I mean, I know what happens. I just can't remember if I wrote down anything good. Okay. So they punch for a bit. And then...
You have a note about something I want.
Yeah. And then... oh, do I?
Yeah, about something I thought was funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she gets him down on the ground, and then he kicks on the flamethrower and turns around, but she's too quick for him, and she just kind of like steps on his arm, and it turns off.
Man,
it's like the most useless flamethrower in the galaxy. Oh, okay, go ahead.
He just has no fucking luck with this flamethrower.
Yeah, it's like first week with the flamethrower, Mando. Did you just get that or what?
Just use the grappling hook all the time, man. He's good with that fucking grappling hook.
Yeah.
Damn. So then they grapple on the ground for a little while, and they do some MMA kind of shit as best they can in big Star Wars costumes. And then they do the whole Desperado standoff where they both pull their guns and they point them at each other's head. And they stop for a second, and they hear... and they look over, and there's Baby Yoda sipping on his bone broth.
Yeah.
And Mando's like, you want some soup?
Yeah. That Baby Yoda is the cutest thing in the entire Star Wars universe.
I ordered one.
Oh, did you?
$30 for a 7-inch fucking toy.
Oh,
still waiting on that tracking info.
So they go back in and they have some more broth and shit, and they're talking. But first thing I would have done is got my money back from that bartender, because that bitch did a terrible job of watching the kid.
Yeah.
He just got up and walked right the fuck out. But he's a little space ninja, as we've said. So maybe he just waited for her to bring the broth and then he snuck out. But they went around the back of the building, which is probably where that table was. So he probably just walked under the wall or something, and there they were. So anyway, so Gina's explaining why she was there, and there's a lot in this. Okay. She was saying something about after the Battle of Endor, that her and her little trooper people, it seems like they're more like special operation type, SEAL team type groups.
Yeah, what he called her a drop trooper,
shock trooper. Yeah, but she made it sound like they were dropped in with no escorts and no oversight to just go in there and kill Imperials. Okay. And I guess that she really dug that part. But then once they killed them all, they got reassigned to where they were kind of like peacekeepers, just kind of watching senators and shit like that. And she was like, nope, fuck this. So she quit. I guess she quit, or she ran away, or she just like went AWOL or some shit, because I guess she was kind of like in an army type thing, I mean, the Rebel Alliance kind of thing. Maybe they You sign a contract. I don't know. Can you really just quit? I don't know. But she thought that he was there to get her because somebody put a bounty on her. Maybe the rebels, which is now the New Republic, put a hit out on her or had somebody come get her. So she says, I thought you had a fob on me. Okay. Because she says something like, when I saw you, I figured you were part of the guild. So I figured you had a fob on me. And that whole exchange there kind of leads me to believe that they didn't know each other before. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she's like, she sips down the last of her fake broth from an empty bowl, and she says, well, this has been fun, but if you don't want to fight anymore, I'm going to go. And there's only room on this planet for one person, and I got here first. So she's like, see you later. So Mando looks over at little Yoda, and he says, well, I guess this planet's taken. So I guess they're going to leave, right? So they go back to the Razor Crest, and I guess Mando's got to make a couple repairs or whatever. And these two villager dickheads show up, okay? Now, this is the R2-D2 and C-3PO comic relief pair, I guess, from the Akira Kurosawa book of storytelling. You got to have these two idiots, right? Yeah. And it's like all the Gamera movies have like a pair of yokels from the construction site or whatever. That's these two clowns, okay? So these two guys show up on their little Mandalorian, their little floating sled thing that they, that has the droid on it or whatever. And they're like, hey, we need your help. We're villagers from nearby, and we have money. And he's like, oh, so you think I'm a mercenary? And they're like, well, you're a Mandalorian, right? I mean, you're wearing Mandalorian armor. So, he's like, show me the money. You don't have enough. Get out of here. Fuck off. I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. And so when they're leaving, they're like, oh, man, it took us a day to get here, and now we have to go all the way back in the middle of nowhere with no escort or anything. And so his gears turn for a second, and he's like, okay, show me the money, blah, blah, blah.
You guys have lodging?
Come help me. Yeah, you got lodging. Come get some of this shit. So he loads up some of his luggage and shit on the sled, and he's like, I need to pick up one more thing. Give me the money. So they find a little campfire, and there's Gina sitting there. So he throws the money at her, and he's like, hey, come on, we got to ready for round two. And so she's like, oh, what? So now we got to fucking heroes for hire, help these more backwoods morons and stuff. And he's like, hey, come on. They're going to give us a place to stay in the middle of fucking nowhere. It seems like it's a pretty good deal, And then we get this little cute shot where Baby Yoda looks up at the night sky. And then, yeah. So I guess it really does take a day to get there because they don't get there until the morning. And let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So
imagine if they were walking.
Yeah, no shit.
So but that sled moved at walking speed.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. That's why it took all damn night.
It's like one of those.
Let's put it into hyperspeed from 1 mile to 3.
Yeah, the same sled that he was on at the end of the last episode. That thing moved pretty fast when he wanted to. I mean, they got an old broken down piece of shit one. Plus, their droid got stabbed in the face. So,
well, Mando pointed a gun at the other one, so that other one's like, "Okay, yes, sir."
But theirs can't see because he got poked in the eye.
Ow.
Okay. So all the little kids run over and they look at Yoda and they're like, "Oh, look at Yoda." Okay, this is a little too.
I think they kind of overdid it with the children.
They did overdo it a little bit with the kids, but. Anyway, so
let's all ham up the little children.
So Mando gets his luggage and stuff, and apparently they're going to stay in the barn, which until she said that, I thought, damn, how nice that they had this big, huge, fucking empty bungalow house for them to stay in. Oh, it's the barn. Okay, the barn's empty, I guess. Why would you have a barn if you don't have any animals or anything?
Well, they used to have space cows.
Yeah, their grandparents had animals, but now they got droids, so fuck that. We don't need the animals anymore.
We got milk producers.
So Julia's standing there talking to Mando, and her stealth daughter tries to sneak in, and Mando turns around like he's going to shoot her because he doesn't like surprises. Damn it. I guess like a day goes by or whatever. She comes back in with some food and stuff. And the little girl tries to feed little Yoda, and then she's like, "Hey, can I play with him?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess so." And she's like, goes to take him outside and stuff. And he's like, "Hey, whoa, I don't think that's a good idea." And so, old Julia's like, "No, it's cool, come on." I think she worked that out with the little girl. You get the tree frog out of here, and I'm gonna sex up the mystery man. So anyway, she's like, "Well, I'll leave this food over here, on the side for when you're ready." And he's like, "Oh," and so thanks, it's thoughtful. So then
it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I spilled red wine all over your arm."
Yeah,
there's only one good way to get that out.
Yeah, down at the the Club Soda River. So, and she starts asking him about the helmet and shit, And she's like, "Well, when's the last time you took it off?" And he's like, "Yesterday." She's like, "Well, when's the last time you took it off in front of somebody else?" And he's like, "I wasn't any bigger than those kids over there." So they can take the helmet off. Mm-hmm. They just can't do it in front of anybody else. And apparently that counts for other Mandalorians too, because they were all hanging out in the cave with their fucking helmets on and shit. So I guess you can take it off to take a shower, you can take it off to shave, you can take it off to eat, but you can't ever be without it in front of somebody else. That's what I gather.
Well, Space Galadriel should have been more clear about that. Have you ever taken your helmet off? Never.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that just goes without saying. When they talk about taking their helmet off, they're really just talking about doing it in front of somebody else. Because, of course, they have to eat, and they have to scratch their head, and they have to, get eyelashes out of their eye. Oh, something in my eye. I can't fit my gloved hand up through my helmet. I got to take my helmet off. So yeah, okay. So that's a little nugget that's put in there. They can take them off, just not in front of other people. He also says that the Mandalorians took him in. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing he wasn't born a Mandalorian. He's just kind of
following that religion.
He's following their religion because they took him in, and he got adopted and became part of that thing. So he's not actually a Mandalorian. So
he was a foundling.
Yeah, all the flashbacks and shit. Well, I figured the foundlings were Mandalorian kids whose parents got killed. Like little orphans, but
I guess they really were found.
I mean, maybe the Mandalorians showed up at that village and kicked the shit out of because like I said, the last flashback we saw, he's in that little thing and the door's open and there's a battle droid. So I was like, well, what the fuck happened? Well, maybe the Mandalorians showed up to the rescue and killed all the droids, and then they're like, oh, look, a little kid. And maybe they took him with them and raised him as, to be a Mandalorian, but maybe he really isn't one. Mm-hmm. But at this point, it seems like the Mandalorians are just kind of we'll take anybody kind of thing. Or, if you're worthy, we'll take you kind of thing. You don't have to be... Mm-hmm. It's not like the mob. You don't have to be pure blood Sicilian or some shit like that. Yeah. I mean, so that's a couple of interesting things from that one boring ass conversation. But we got a few questions answered.
Also, I saw an article online that pointed out that in this scene that we're talking about, a boom mic was left in.
What?
Really?
One of the shots, yeah.
I wasn't even looking for it because I was so enthralled when she leaves and he sets his plate on the fucking windowsill and then takes his goddamn helmet off.
Yeah.
Those kids are out there playing. They can look over and see him. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
If you take your helmet off in front of a 10-year-old, you're fine. If you take it off in front of a 12-year-old, you are fucked.
You're fucked.
You're stewed, buttwad.
Who, me? Yeah, so a lot of interesting shit there that maybe we'll get some more of later, but maybe we won't. I don't know, but that was some interesting stuff thrown in there. So he takes his helmet off. I guess he eats something. The next thing we see, him and Gina are running around in the woods, kind of doing a scouting thing, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And again, he uses predator vision. And they find this big-ass footprint, and they're like, oh, shit. An AT-ST. Well, we didn't plan on that. So, and this was something repetitive that I thought was interesting. And I didn't make a note about it the first time, but the second time I made a note about it. So, like, when Gina's talking back at the hibachi in the middle of nowhere, she says, about when she was and her troops were dropped in and they got to kill Imperials and all this stuff, and it was great. But then when they became peacekeepers, she didn't like it. She said, "That's not what I signed up for." Okay, so now her and Mando are out there scouting around, and they find that ATST track, and she goes, "An ATST? Oh man, I didn't sign up for this." And it's like, oh my God, could we give her a couple more interesting things to say, or she just have? So like, did Jon Favreau just have like a couple of phrases for her written on dice, and then he just kind of rolled them and is like, okay, here she will say, I didn't sign up for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of lame. I was like, she said the same line twice in one episode. Come on, man, give her something else.
What did you sign up for then?
Yeah, what did you? She wants to kill motherfuckers. I guess that's what she wants to do.
I guess she just wants to kill foot soldiers. But as soon as some armor comes in, it's like, nope.
Oh, I ain't fighting a giant chicken.
I want easy kills.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the RP.
Damn. Yeah. So they go back to the village, and Mando's like, "Can't live here no more."
Yeah.
Y'all got to go. She's like, "Woo, subtle, way to go." He's like, "Oh, you think you do better?" She's like, "I couldn't do much worse than that shit." So she's like, yeah, this isn't what we signed up for.
Jesus.
She's like, these guys got a fucking ATST, and they're like, "What's that?" It's like, "It's that giant metal chicken that you guys knew about and didn't fucking tell us. So screw you. Y'all gotta go." And they're like, "We don't have anywhere to go." And she's like, "Bitch, it's a big planet. Just go. Just walk. Yeah. Find another spot.
Just walk straight."
Yeah.
The two little village idiots said something stupid when she was like, that you knew about it. Wasn't their comeback like,
we hired you.
Yeah, we hired you. Job. It's like, no, that's not the fucking point.
Yeah.
You hired us to protect you from some space orcs. You didn't hire us to shoot down a giant space chicken. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So, and also, it's like, those are the same two guys who are like, "Our grandparents seeded these pods. We ain't going nowhere."
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to seed your pod if you don't get out of this village.
It's
Come on, man.
Didn't you guys just harvest all the blue shrimp? I mean, there's nothing left in there. Just go seed some other pods, dig some holes 20 miles away and seed those fucking pods. Your grandparents died with the secret of seeding a pod? Come on, motherfucker. You can figure it out. Anyway.
Well, if we do it, we'll get green shrimp.
Yeah. They don't taste very good, do they? No, they don't, precious. So they're like, "We're not going anywhere." So then it's like, well, Mando looks over at Gina and he's like, "I smell a training montage coming."
The montage is back.
Right. Yeah. So she's going to teach him how to fight hand to hand with spears and shit. Yeah. And Mando's going to teach him how to shoot laser guns, right? Now, here's a problem I have with this. He goes, now, remember, even though they do have a couple of fucking robots, these are simple villagers with thatched huts and shit, and they all wear the same clothes that were dyed in a river or some shit. And he says, "Who knows how to shoot?" And of course, Hot Single Mom raises her hand. How the fuck does she know how to shoot? When the fuck has she ever had a gun?
Maybe she has a dangerous past.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, well, we're not going to explore that shit because, spoilers, he doesn't stick around. Yeah. Anyway.
My husband, well, I had to learn how to shoot. My husband just wouldn't keep his hands off me.
Damn. Yeah.
Okay. Father, there was no father.
Yeah.
What? The strangest thing.
No. Okay.
Not again.
The chosen one.
No. So we get a training montage. I've written down here, how the fuck does she know how to shoot? We get them all lined up, so they're going to shoot at pots and pans, right? And they're all off and miss. And then little Space Annie Oakley gets up there, and she's like, and I'm like, fuck you, okay? Just fuck off with that shit. Mary Sue, okay, whatever.
Uncle Han taught me how to shoot.
Uncle Han.
It really was like some kind of A-Team Hogan's Heroes fucking montage of just like have some kind of have the fucking A-Team thing going in the background.
Yeah. Somebody's welding some shit. Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Okay, yeah. So anyway, Mando and Gina go off to provoke the enemy. Oh, well, I guess there was a little conversation, the hint of a tender moment where he's whoa.
That's a good book title.
The hint of a tender moment?
Yeah.
Okay, write that shit down. Get it copyrighted before I put this on the internet. Where he's talking to Hot Single Mom, and you get the feeling that maybe there's going to be a moment or something, but he's like, when we come back, we'll be coming in hot, so you guys be ready. And then Gina walks over and gives him a nod, and he gives her a nod, and then he takes off. So, so it's like, okay.
Bomb.
So they go off to provoke the enemies, right? So they sneak up to their camp, and there's a couple guys. It was funny. There's 2 guys. I guess maybe these are like perimeter guards or something. There's 2 guys sitting around a fire, and they're drinking what appears to be aqua velva or the liquid from some glow sticks or something, because it's like this crazy blue glowing shit. And they, they sneak up behind them and do the chokehold kind of thing, and take them out quick and quiet. It's one thing about this show. I can't tell if they're just knocking people out or if they're actually killing everyone. What do you guys think? Are they killing all these people?
I think in this scenario they're just knocking these guys out.
Well, like
until that bomb goes off. I mean, Jesus.
Well, yeah, okay, until the bomb goes. But like we're talking about like all the hand-to-hand combat.
Well, even in the last episode when Mando goes into Werner Herzog's place and kills the 14 stormtroopers, a lot of them, he shoots. Point blank, he shoots those guys, they're dead. He flamethrows the one guy, he's clearly dead. But there's a couple guys where he just like hits a dude in the face with the buttstock of his rifle, or he punches a dude really hard and throws him against a wall or something, and they just kind of collapse or whatever. So it's like, yes, enemy defeated, but is that guy dead?
I wouldn't.
Did he hit him hard enough?
If I remember correctly, when they were fighting, and it cuts to a shot of Mando like punching someone in like the chest or the throat, there is a sound effect of like
a neck breaking kind of thing.
No, it's like a good old fashioned squish, like a.
Oh.
So it's like ugh.
But I mean,
something.
It's just kind of the moral ambiguity in this. Sometimes it's like you'd punch 2 or 3 guys, so you just try and incapacitate them, and then you go around a corner and you will clearly shoot a motherfucker in the face. It's like, why don't you just shoot everybody? If you don't care and you're down to shoot some motherfuckers, just shoot them all. Just kill everybody. Why? Why would you leave a couple alive? I don't understand that kind of shit.
Tell the other space orcs what you just saw.
Right. So it's like, they're there to deal with this threat to the innocent villagers. Well, but they want to go and just beat them up and tell them, you better stop, don't come back. Or they just want to, he was planted a bomb. He was clearly going to blow that place up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that, maybe blowing the place up was just supposed to be the,
deterrent.
Yeah, the deterrent, because it was when she whistled over to him, it was kind of like, oh shit, somebody's coming. Like this was not expected.
I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe that since Gina Carano has a fighting background, they wanted to put in a lot of hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
But just to me, it just seems really weird. If you're gonna kill a couple dudes, like he disintegrates some motherfuckers later, okay? And those villagers are shooting lasers at people, and as we've said in Star Wars, if you get shot with a laser, you're dead. Mm-hmm. Okay? So they clearly don't care about killing these motherfuckers, so why are they fucking around with trying to... just stick a knife in the back of the guy's neck as he's sitting at the fucking campfire, as opposed to coming up behind, grabbing by the throat, and wrestle him to the ground and shit. Fuck all that.
Hey, sometimes you want a bit of a challenge, You don't want everything to be
you want to
easy.
do it quick, easy, get your money, and get out. That's what you want. So anyway, okay, I'm lost here. Okay, so they go in there. The 2 guys drinking the blue liquid. They take them out. They go into this big tent or whatever that has big vats of the glow stick fluid. And he sets a bomb on the pillar, right? And it plays that whatever the fuck, and then the lights start going off. So it is a timer. You remember in the last episode, you were like, I wonder if your remote controls it, if it's a timer. Because he's just like super nonchalant. You just put it on the wall, kind of walked away slow, like, nah, no big deal. But I guess it is a timer. So,
dope.
Yeah, here I've got this note. And then they fight these guys hand to hand. Why? Why the fuck would they? Why are they bothering with these dudes? Just shoot them, So anyway, they're kind of pinned down, and Mando's like, "Go, I'll cover you." So he shoots a couple holes in the wall, and then Gina Carano does the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah, oh yeah! She busts out of the wall, and that wakes up the ATST, and it starts chasing them.
Space chicken.
Yeah, so they run back to the village, right? Pretty quickly. I guess that ATST's a little slow in the woods. So they get back to the village and they hunker down with everybody else, and this thing comes out of the woods. I thought it was kind of cool that the space Urukai installed red lights inside of it, so it would look kind of cool.
Fucking pimp my ride.
Yeah, that's their Toyota Corolla that they
pimp my walker.
Went to Walmart and got some red LEDs put inside of it. So they have a shootout. All the Urukai run out. Okay, so the villagers had dug this trench to try to make the chicken walker fall into. Okay, because Gina Carano says there's nothing on this planet that can take out those legs because
that armor's too strong for blasters.
Okay. So she's like, we got to make it fall in this hole, and once it hits the ground, it's over. So they dug this hole. So all the space Urukais run out of the woods, and so we got to have a melee fight here. And the ATST stops at the edge, doesn't jump in. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when the ATST stops and then it turns on the fucking flashlight, right. Pans around.
Those two idiots are standing there.
Fucking idiots! It's like, you idiot.
It would have been funny if that walker dunked its toe in. Woo!
Ooh, it's
because
cool.
It was a little cartoony when it stepped its foot out, and it's like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. Yeah.
It would have been more cartoony if it just went, ooh, that's cool.
Ooh, that's cool. So there's some shooting, and there's a little bit of I can't remember if the villagers run out at this point or whatever, but Gina's like, okay, we gotta fucking because Mando's disintegrating dudes that try to run across that little path. And she's like, okay, this isn't working. So she's like, give me the rifle, which I thought was crazy, man. I was like, he ain't gave her. Oh no, he gives her the rifle. She takes his fucking rifle.
He's very trusting.
He's very trusting of her. Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's leaving Yoda with people now. He was just gonna leave Yoda on the ship. He's just like he's losing it, man.
Ever since he left the guild, man.
I guess he's losing it. So she takes the rifle and she runs up to the front line and she kind of hides behind a little island or some shit to take pot shots at the ATST so it'll focus on her. She does manage to, after a couple tries, she does manage to shoot inside of it. And I don't know if she kills one of the guys or whatever, but one of the little flappy things falls down. And after that, the chicken walker's pissed off. So it takes a couple steps forward and it falls in the thing. And then Mando runs over and he slaps a bomb on it, and it blows it up. And that seems to be it for the bad guys. They're like, "Oh shit, we lost our giant chicken. We're out of here." So they all take off. And I guess, it seems like a lot of them are left alive. Are we just gonna assume that the village is safe? There's probably still 20 of those dudes. They don't have the ATST anymore, but. They're pissed off and they're still right down the road. What the fuck, man? What's to keep those guys from actually being smart and coming back in the middle of the night and slitting everybody's throat?
So either way, they should have left anyway. It's like, yeah, we'll take out some of them and intimidate them. But you guys still need to move your farm at least 20 feet down the road. You'll be fine.
That was one battle, yeah. But, damn, there's still some of them dudes. They're just going to, we got our asses kicked. I guess we'll just stay
Shit,
away.
They got a Mandalorian?
Yeah,
fuck this.
Maybe we should start farming shrimp.
Yeah.
That's how those villages start.
Maybe we should just make our own.
Bands of raiders that get tired and they just, maybe we should start a shrimp farm. That's why it's so diverse. It was just a band of scavengers, rogue scoundrels, and they
Shrimp Farms, a Star Wars story.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I guess the village is safe. Oh boy. So then we see little Yoda playing with the kids, and he catches a frog. Finally catches that frog, and he chucks it in his mouth, and all the kids are like, "Ew, no!" So he spits it out. So I guess now he's a vegetarian.
No.
So then we get that shot, that promo shot that was released of Gina and Mando and a hot single mom standing on the porch hanging out, and so everybody's talking about Yodi, and they're like, "Oh, he'll be happy here, and he really likes it, and he fits in, and he." So everybody's saying he. So I guess it's a boy.
Who changed his diaper to find out?
I mean, we never, it's been a little ambiguous up till now, but I guess everybody's just by default calling him a he, so I guess we're supposed to assume it's a he. Unless they're going to pull that
fucking sexist
they're going to pull that bullshit in the last episode where we're like, "Oh, it's a she," or something like that. But
it's a gender fluid.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, we're just supposed to assume it's a boy. So Gina's talking to Mando, and she's like, so what happens if you take that helmet off, and he's like, well, you can never put it back on again, or something like that. Once you quit, you quit. And she's like, so you can just take that helmet off and marry hot single mom and raise your baby tree frog and live happily if you wanted to, right? And he's like, well, yeah, I guess so, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, we raised a lot of havoc here a couple weeks ago. So I guess they've been there for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. They've been there for a few weeks.
Well, that training montage.
Hanging out. No. He said we raised a lot of havoc a few weeks ago. So I think he's talking about the battle.
Yeah.
So after the battle, I guess they hang out for a while. I guess.
Help us plant some more blue shrimp.
Are we supposed to believe that nothing happened in those couple weeks? Because he's kind of chummy with hot single mom. I mean, you think maybe once she came in to bring him some bread and maybe convinced him to take that helmet off? Or
he might not have taken the helmet off, but he might have taken.
He can take his pants off. Mandalorian can take his pants off for sure.
Hold on, let me get some different Beskar protection here.
Yeah. So, damn. Okay.
The Beskar broke.
Damn. We're going off the rails here, fellas.
So they've been there for a few weeks.
So Mando tells Gina that he's going to leave Lil Yoda behind. He's like, he doesn't need to be traveling with me, and that's no life, and he could be happy here, and all this shit. And she's like, it's going to break his little heart.
Bless his heart.
Oh, there, Mando. So we get a clip of a dude in the woods, and he's got a tracking fob. And it's like, and it's like, oh, shit. So that cuts to Mando going over to Hot Single Mom. And they talk, and he's talking about how he's going to leave little Yodi there, but he's going to go. And she's like, no, you should stay. And she reaches for his helmet like he's going to take it off. And the sniper dude in the woods has got his little crosshairs pointed at the back of Mando's helmet. And I thought for a second he was waiting to see if she was going to take the helmet off and he'd get a clear shot.
Yeah.
But then he goes a little bit to the left with the scope, and he sees Yoda, and he's going to shoot him. So at first I thought maybe the fob was for Mando.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he's still after Yoda. So he puts his crosshairs on Yoda, and we hear a shot, but it's Gina, and she walks up behind the dude and blows his head off. Awesome. What a cool chick. So okay. Mando runs out there, and he finds Kara, and they find the fob, and it's like, oh shit, they know we're here. They're gonna keep sending motherfuckers. It's not safe. So So you got to take him with you. So he loads up his stuff, and he's taking Yoda with him, and he's going to leave. But Gina stays behind. What the fuck?
Well, she did say,
Until
are
our
you sure
paths
you
cross.
don't? Are you sure you don't want an escort?
An escort. Like she was going to go with him to the ship in case there was trouble. But he's like, no, it's cool. So she stays on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we know.
I thought she was going to... Okay, well, here's a thing that's interesting, though. So they get on the... She takes off and walks off with her rucksack. And Lil Yoda and Mando get on the cart that the two yokels and the blind droid are going to drive them back to the Razor Crest. And they're pulling away, and then we're seeing Lil Yoda's face, and it goes... And it goes to credits, right?
Boom, boom.
So maybe the next episode starts where they're loading the ship and they're about to take off, and then maybe Gina runs up and goes with them. Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Oh, shit.
More fucking Jawas. Destroy his ship. And then he's got to spend a whole nother episode with Gina on the planet.
With Gina trading with the Jawas.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, guys, we don't have the budget to travel to another planet this episode. So, just
roll the Sandcrawler over here
it's
to
like,
the Shrimp Village set, and we'll do an episode where we rebuild the Razor Crest again.
Yeah. That's the whole shtick, is he meets one new guest character on every planet and then has to spend a couple episodes, fixing his fucking ship.
Rebuilding the ship.
You have to rebuild the ship as many times as there are characters that you meet.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, very much sort of an A-Team episode, but we did get interesting information sprinkled in there. It wasn't a complete waste. It wasn't like the Jawa episode. Because things have changed. Okay? There has been some transformations and things learned and shit like that over the course of this episode. So, okay, I read you guys those episode synopsis the last time. So we know that the next episode is where Mando helps out a new bounty hunter who's having trouble or something like that.
Oh, God.
This
Bill
is
Burr.
possibly Bill
That
Burr.
would be funny as fuck.
Yeah, I think so.
Bill Burr, a struggling bounty hunter.
Well, I don't know if it's...
A struggling stand-up bounty hunter.
I'm going to pull this up and see the exact wording. Come on. I got so much Formula One stuff in my bookmarks that it's hard to find the few tidbits of Mandalorian stuff that I'm able to find that's relevant. Wow, it's really buried in here. Holy crap. Where did it go? Hey, just because I'm looking at my phone to find something relevant doesn't mean you guys can just jump on your damn phones. Okay, here we go. The Mandalorian helps a rookie bounty hunter who is in over his head. So, we're assuming that's Bill Burr and Pink Tonks.
Pink Tonks.
Yeah. So now there's a GIF floating around where if you Google Natalia Tena, the Mandalorian, you get the shot of her. She's a pink Twi'lek. She's looking over her shoulder, and I guess she winks. It's like a POV kind of thing. She winks at whoever's looking at her. Behind her, you see Bill Burr. He's walking away, and in the background is the Razor Crest. So, yeah, at first I thought maybe he was going to be a bad guy who was after them, but maybe they team up. Maybe they're friends or something, or maybe there's some sort of team up. So we'll probably get that next episode. So yeah, probably no Gina, unless the episode starts with them leaving the planet and hey, I had a change of heart. I want to go with you or something. I don't know. So anyway, the fact that we know she's in several episodes, more than one anyway. I'm gonna bring up my light bulb that popped over my head during Thanksgiving dinner.
Uh-oh.
What if? And so that's why it was so weird that the day after, on Friday, when I watched episode 4, I was like, oh, they're insinuating some pseudo-romantic thing between Hot Single Mom and Mando. and Gina's sitting there on the porch whittling or something, you know. I thought it would be really cool if Mando and Gina turned out to be Rey's parents. Discuss.
I'm just thinking of like how back they could tie in a couple of
Now,
things.
what wasn't there? It was either you or it was you. Somebody said that there was a quote from either JJ or Jon Favreau that said something from episode 9 is set up in the Mandalorian.
No, it was actually Ryan Johnson who said it, because
He said what?
he said something that happened in episode 4 ruined a Rey
Episode 4 of what?
Mando.
He said something that happened in episode 4 of The Mandalorian?
Yeah, because he
I
got
thought he was just talking about the show in general. He said episode 4?
supposedly
It ruins what?
It ruins a rumor that was floating around about Rey.
It ruins a rumor.
What was the rumor?
What was the rumor?
It didn't go into that in the article.
Oh,
It was
God damn you, Ryan Johnson, you son of a bitch.
right.
You fucking ruined Star Wars, Ryan Johnson, you son
Damn
of a
it
bitch.
all.
But yeah, and this was another article from Nerdist. So, and that's a pretty reliable source.
You don't put a chunk of filet mignon on the fish hook and then not drop it in the water, you some bitch.
So I'm really
Give me a nibble.
I'm surprised that they were really vague with it. It was like, Ryan Johnson says this ruins a rumor. So I clicked on the article and it just goes into, well, in episode 9, we don't know who Rey's parents are, because in episode 8, Kylo says they're just drunks, and that's where the article ended. And I'm like,
That
oh,
was the movie I
wrote.
Did he say they were like scavengers?
no, he
Junk
said,
traders or something like that.
well, they said, Kylo said that the parents gave her up for drinking money.
Yeah, he said they were just junk traders. They sold you for drinking money.
Hmm.
But we all know that's a lie, right? He
Yeah.
wouldn't tell- he probably doesn't know. He probably isn't bothered. He just sold her that bullshit to get her to come over and hang out with him because he's got a cool bachelor pad and shit.
Well, if it was Ryan Johnson's story, he would have made it the truth.
That was Ryan Johnson's story. But it's a throwaway line because JJ can just I don't have a pen. JJ can just grab his pen and just cross that shit off, you know.
I was lying.
JJ's like, oh no, that shit's not gonna stick.
And then Ryan Johnson comes in with episode 10. Oh, it's going to stick.
No, ain't no episode 10. This is it. Skywalker Saga's over.
Not if Ryan Johnson has something to say about it.
Ryan Johnson, something, something stupid, you
Right.
know? But anyway, yeah. So I had kind of had that thought because everybody at first when Rogue One came out, everybody was like, "Ooh, what if Cassian and Jyn are Rey's parents?" But
No.
I mean, they didn't even get to kiss each other before they got vaporized by a nuclear bomb, kind of shit. So yeah,
Kind of throw that out.
kind of blew that out of the water, and then so yeah. But I was like, okay, well, what if Mando and Gina hook up after fighting all these battles and shit, and they settle down with little Yodi, and then they make a daughter of their own. But then what would happen to make them give her up?
And what would happen to make her British? Huh? Huh?
Yeah. See, that was my whole basis for thinking that Rey was a Kenobi, because she has a British accent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, Daisy Ridley's British, but so's John Boyega, and they make that motherfucker use an American accent.
Well,
So why'd they say, no, you can't use your British accent, but Daisy, you can use yours?
two things.
There's got to be, there has to be a point to it,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, why make John Boyega change his accent?
Well, two things.
Oh, okay. Well, he's gonna explain that shit.
Okay.
Okay.
So, according to an article, John Boyega went in and did some takes with his natural voice, and JJ was like, okay, I'm just not feeling it.
Uh-huh.
I think you should do your American. And John was like, okay, gotcha. And then there's another article that kind of goes into depth, even more
giving little nuggets as to why Rey is a Kenobi. And these are just like, oh, come on, they're just pulling at straws here. But, I mean, it's Disney.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Well, the whole thing was when she has her Force flashback in The Force Awakens, when she touches
Obi-Wan.
Luke's saber, and they brought Ewan McGregor in to do a line. I mean,
These are your first
steps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
look
Ewan
at me
McGregor.
like that. How do you not know that?
I thought that was canned.
No.
No,
It was what?
I thought that was like already like just old sound clips they had.
No, they used old sound clips of Alec Guinness.
They took a clip of Alec Guinness saying the word afraid.
Yeah.
and butchered
and they
it.
butchered it to make him say Ray. And then you hear Ewan McGregor say, these are your first steps.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would they go to all that trouble? Because he never said that to anybody else. It's not like she was saying somebody else's flashback. Because she sees like the Empire fight between Luke and Vader. She sees that set and she hears the breathing and she, there's blah, 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 blah. But then you get Obi-Wan saying something that he's never said to somebody else. And it's Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan. And I'm like, come on, man. That's got to mean something.
She's a Kenobi. She's a Kenobi.
Now, if we want to open this fucking J.J. Abrams Force Awakens fucking can of worms here, I'll do it, bitch, because there was some significant things put into that movie that all focused on who the fuck is this girl, okay? We've got the Ewan McGregor line. There's a part on the Falcon when she does some bullshit, I guess, which is to bypass the compressor. Now earlier there was a thing where Han says something and she says like almost the identical thing at the same time, and that was kind of weird. But when she fixes the compressor thing, Han kind of looks at her and he's got this lingering kind of thing when he's looking at her. Okay, and I was like,
best Paul Rudd.
And and I thought that was interesting. Okay, but then. And this is like hitting you over the head with a fucking heavy book here. When they're at Maz Kanata's place, and John Boyega Finn leaves the table, and then I guess does Rey go after him or something?
Yeah.
They both leave the table, and then Maz looks over at Han and goes, "Who's the girl?" And it cuts away. Now you'd had those scenes where Han would kind of look at her and be like, and so it was kind of like, what does that mean? And then you get a scene where Maz is like, all right, tell me who this girl is. And it cuts away. And I'm like, does he know something? What the fuck's going on? And yeah, I think JJ was trying to throw some shit in there. And I mean, like I said, Kylo's admission could be a lie, but it seems like Ryan Johnson was just like, you know what? I don't, I really got the feeling that J.J. Abrams slept with Ryan Johnson's prom date or something, because, man, he just came in and just like, I'm going to fucking ruin this guy's shit, son of a bitch. Something bad happened or something. I mean, God, why would you... But yeah, it seemed like he was on a mission to just ruin everything JJ set up.
Turns out this has been a lifelong goal of Ryan Johnson.
Right, yeah, since they were in middle school together or some shit,
He put a bug in some Disney exec's ear, like, you want to buy Lucasfilm?
He made all that shit happen, right? Just so he could have the opportunity.
He's the fucking emperor.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson is the
Ryan
emperor.
Johnson is Palpatine. Wow.
Wow,
we solved it.
We went off on a tangent there.
No, but it all comes back to that whole, she's got to be important somehow.
Yeah.
Well, what if I was trying to tie the shit together, If they're not going to give me Chewbacca, we got to tie it together somehow. I'd like to think that maybe Gina and Mando turn out to be Rey's parents. I don't know. Maybe that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Maybe Mando's faking a voice, and then when he takes the helmet off, he does a full-on British accent. That way it explains Rey being British.
Well, I mean, if they gave her up when she was young and she got raised somewhere else, maybe she picked up the accent from somebody else.
Well, she was about 7 or 8.
5 or 6 or something. She was tiny, man. She could pick up an accent.
Maybe.
Yeah. In the middle of the desert, surrounded by fucking goofy looking aliens. Sure, you could pick up an accent. I mean, you know. All she had were all she could pick up in that AT-AT she lived in was BBC. So she just learned how to talk by watching the old Midsummer Murders episodes.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was just a thought that occurred to me, so I just wanted to share it here. And you know, you guys don't think that holds any water, so
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, you know,
I mean,
because if they did that, people would start to pick that shit apart real fast. And it's like, you know, so are either one of Gina or Mando Force sensitive, or did that thing just happen out of the blue?
Well, I mean, do you have to be? I mean, it's the whole Harry Potter Muggle thing. Do your parents one of your parents has to be a Jedi in order for you to have the Force?
I guess not, but I mean, you know, then can just any old person learn how to?
If that has to be the rule, may I suggest Baby Yoda is Rey's father?
Shut up.
Uncanny resemblance.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, Baby Yoda is the father, and hot single mom's daughter Winta is the mother, right?
My baby you won't carry.
Leave her on a desert planet when she is 5, you will. Raise her, you will not. Leave her with giant blob man Simon Pegg, you will.
Damn.
Learn about her future very vaguely, she will.
For this orphan girl, I will give you 3/4 portions.
3/4 sounds nice. 3/4 portions does.
Have any frogs, do you? This is a desert planet. I was on a desert planet once with Nick Nolte, and there were plenty of frogs.
When did Yoda become Indian?
Yeah, I don't know. He's C-3PO now. What is going on? Oh, boy.
Broke the best condom, did.
No, damn.
Best condom.
Yeah, somebody said that Baby Yoda is actually Kermit and Miss Piggy's child or something. If they had a kid, that's what it looked like.
Oh my god.
I don't know, man. I think this, you know, when the show was announced, I was like, okay, he's going to be a bounty hunter. He's going to run around, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really, you know, I had no preconceived notions about where it would go, but I kind of like what it's doing. It's giving us some stuff to think about and speculate on, and we're running around doing shit in the Star Wars universe, places we never been, seeing shit we never saw. I think it does a good job of kind of making the Star Wars universe seem a little bigger, as far as, like, you know, I mean, we know they always talk about the galaxy and all these planets and shit, but, you know, in the original trilogy, you never really see much. And you don't get a sense that was always kind of one of my things about the rebels and the Empire. I mean, what's the Empire really doing that's so fucking bad? I mean, they just seem kind of like really strict cops, you know? What are they doing? Are they running around stealing everybody's shrimp? Are they, you know, how's it really super awful living under Imperial rule? What's so bad about it? What are they doing? I mean, yeah, they built a giant fucking space station that could blow up planets, but that was just to keep people in line, wasn't it? I mean, sure, they blew up Alderaan, but, you know, fuck Jimmy Smits. I mean, you know.
Like, I guess they blew up that one planet, but we could overlook it.
You know, I mean,
we'll turn the other cheek.
You know, it's rumored that Alderaan was the original spawning point for all the Jawas, so that's why I'm cool with it. Blow that fucking place. But anyway, yeah, I mean, what was so bad about the Empire, really? I mean, yeah.
I mean, when
just
you
like
think
angsty cops.
when you think about it, I mean, you know, in Revenge of the Sith, when old Palpatine was like, "We're gonna be the first galactic empire," it seemed like 95% of the Senate was on board.
Yeah. And he's like, "And now we'll have peace, and it'll be great." And I don't really know that was like a goofy lie, because he was already full blown emperor at that point, and it was just him and Anakin in the room, so. Didn't really have to lie to him, you know. He's kind of like, and then it'll be great. It'll be awesome. Anakin was kind of like, yeah, sounds like it.
Sure.
Fuck all this bureaucracy and shit.
It'll be great. We'll put in a hot tub.
Yeah, man, we'll just hang out. It'll be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, what the fuck was so wrong with the Empire? Goddamn rebels running around causing trouble, fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought about that. I don't remember if it was before I watched this episode again today or what, but I was kind of like, so now that the Empire's gone, and, you know, the New Republic is kind of barely formed, because, like, in the last episode when Carl Weathers tells him, oh, you really got a problem with it? Well, why don't you take your ass off to the Corps and report him? He's like, nah, like, that's going to fucking do any good. So if the Empire's gone, who's there to enforce any laws? Who's the police now? Who's in charge? Who do you go to when somebody comes and steals all your blue shrimp?
Yeah.
There's nothing. I guess the whole fucking galaxy is just frontier law, chaos, and disarray, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty shitty. Thanks a lot, Luke. Asshole. Luke and Lando blowing up them damn Death Stars and shit. Damn, toppling governments and stuff with no plan for afterwards. You're just gonna go fucking dance with the teddy bears, some bitches.
Yep, nope.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just weird. But you know, Star Wars, the universe, has always seemed really small, you know? You only ever see these little group of people and the big omnipresent empire on their big ships and shit. It's like, okay, so they're fighting these bad guys. George Lucas told us these guys are the bad guys, but, I mean, really, what have they done? Well, we know they blew up Alderaan, but that was to make a point, you know? Well, then Rogue One came out, and we were like, yeah, they were just shooting that shit at anything.
Yeah.
It's like, one reactor, we're just going to shoot everything we come across with one reactor.
It's like, well, I mean, we got to fucking test it somehow.
Yeah, well, let's blow up this city. Now let's blow up this city. And
No, let's blow up a fucking planet.
one reactor, damn it. This shit ain't fully operational yet. One reactor.
More reactors.
More reactors.
The power of this fully operational.
That thing's operational. Moment.
Said the pancake kid.
Pancake kid. Oh, Kraft, pull up. The shield's still up. Are you sure? I got no reading.
So, what do we grade this episode?
I'm gonna give it a B. It was a little stale, like I said, you know, just an episodic A-Team episode, but we got a lot of good info. I think BDH did a good job of directing it. It wasn't slow. The pacing was good. It wasn't, you know, I liked it. I thought it was good. You know, the hand-to-hand fight scenes, I think she shot them well, you know, better than Christopher Nolan. So, yeah.
Whoa.
Let's give BDH a hand for she kicked Christopher Nolan's ass on shooting a fight sequence. That's for damn sure. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say B+.
Yeah,
Same here, B+.
Really good.
Yeah.
This was probably Baby Yoda's cutest episode ever.
Yeah, even though they did fucking overdrive it with the human children, like.
Hey,
yeah,
man.
it was a little too much human kids in this. But
I mean, you did a great job. Baby Yoda is adorable as fuck, and you can milk that, but don't try and add.
Yeah, Baby Yoda is adorable as fuck when he's in a room full of people killing each other.
Yeah.
We don't need to see him surrounded by preschoolers, you know, laughing and cavorting and shit.
Like, if I wanted to be fucking happy, I wouldn't. Like,
I wouldn't be watching The Mandalorian. I wouldn't be watching this guy shooting people and flamethrowing their asses. Yeah. Yeah, that was a little heavy-handed, but oh well, whatever. It is Disney Plus. I mean, come on, it's for kids. It's for kids.
Even though that first episode they sliced someone in half.
I don't remember. Yeah, we talked about that at the time. But
Yeah.
I don't remember if I said this on here or not, but Mark Bernardin made a really good point about how I think when he first watched The Mandalorian, he was super disappointed. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, when I think about it, Star Wars is for kids. It's always been for kids. And we watched it as kids and we loved it. And now we've grown up and we've expected some shit. And we're not getting the thing we expect. But maybe it's not, I don't need to look at this what I want. I need to look at it for what it is. Because it's always been for kids. So when you stop expecting it to be The Dark Knight Returns and you just take it for what it is, it's pretty great. So, why did I bring that up?
Just talking about Disney.
Something about the violence of it or something, or because you were like, yeah, you did cut that guy in half. But I mean,
because Disney, like Star Wars, has always been for kids,
right?
Yeah.
So, I guess you throw a bunch of kids in this episode, and I guess it's fine. It's
yeah. I mean, it didn't ruin it for me.
No, yeah. It was all right. It was fine.
I just thought it was a little could have done without it.
Yeah, because Baby Yoda is cute enough in a room full of people trying to kill each other.
Right.
We don't need a bunch of little giggly children running around, do we?
Yeah.
Plot twist: all those kids are force sensitive.
Oh, don't even.
We'll have to divide them up, half younglings, half foundlings.
Well, thank goodness we're leaving that planet and we'll never have to see them damn kids again.
Until
the
fucking Jawas break the
God.
shit.
The Jawas stole our droids. Oh, what are we going to do now?
And now the Jawas have the Force.
Oh, my God.
They have lightsabers.
A fucking Jedi Jawa. That'd be some shit, wouldn't it?
Jawadai.
That one didn't land.
Well, I guess that's my time here, boys.
It's been fun. It's been real. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. Pretty good. I think next time things are going to pick up. Mm-hmm. I hope the episode starts with them about to leave the planet and Gina jumps on the ship and she's like, hey, I'll go with you. And they go to some fucking goofy space bar diner in the middle of nowhere to get some soup. And they run into Bill Burr. And some hilarity kind of ensues in a drunken bar fight, maybe. And some people get shot. And then they all pile on the Razor Crest and head off on their next adventure. And it's all kind of really cool. And they shoot some stormtroopers in the face. And yeah, and they hear about a job, and it sets it up, and then in the last scene, they team up with Chewbacca, and you got this anticipation about the next. There's only 8 episodes of the show, right?
Yes.
God damn, we are halfway through. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to do more.
We only got 4 episodes. Well, didn't Johnny Fav say that they're already shooting?
Yeah, they've been shooting season 2 for
God, I
the
hope
past
so.
3 months
I hope
now.
this isn't like we'll give you 8 episodes and then you got to wait till next November. I'd like it if they just waited 2-3 months, put out another one, then waited 2-3 months, put out another one.
I saw something online that, said once The Mandalorian finishes, everybody's going to realize, oh, what do I do with Disney Plus now? Because, all that original Marvel shit.
You watch Kenobi.
That's not even being made yet.
Yeah, and all that Marvel shit isn't coming out until later
Which is
next
crazy
year.
because they announced that shit a good while back.
Yeah, so it's after the last episode of The Mandalorian is released, it's what do we do now? Watch High School Musical?
Yeah.
Hey, from what I've read, Falcon and Winter Soldier is in production.
So season 2 of The Mandalorian. When do you think we're gonna get that?
And according to the article I read, don't quote me. This
because I ain't said shit. Oh.
Because the article I read said Falcon and Winter Soldier may be out by sometime February 2020.
Well, damn, that would help because, like you said, it's a big hole of 1950s Disney classics. And
yeah, I mean that's why I personally, after I read that article, I was like, oh, I guess you're right. And then I was like, well, fuck, I already paid for the year subscription. And then I was like, well, if I had done month to month, I guess I could have just fucking canceled it.
I did month to month because I didn't see an option to do a year.
Oh, I did a year. And it was
wait a second. You just did Disney Plus. You didn't get the bundle, did you?
No.
See, I got the bundle, and I didn't get an option to do a year.
Yeah.
Mine's month to month. But I wanted ESPN Plus because if I can, don't fucking smirk your face at me, boy. Because if I can,
sports ball.
No, if they've got an archive of all the F1 races,
okay,
then I can take that shit off my DVR and have some fucking room.
I didn't think that ESPN would do F1 stuff.
Yeah, they have the F1 contract, and they just renewed it, so we're gonna be with ESPN for another 5 years or so.
Oh,
which is great because the NBC coverage sucked.
Well, damn, dick. That's a really good bundle for you then.
Yeah. Plus, I got Hulu.
Okay,
I got ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu.
Well, I already had the Hulu with no ads subscription, and I was like, I'll never fucking watch ESPN. So I was just like, I'll just do Disney Plus. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wish I could have done a year payment, but I hate when shit comes out month to month. I just want to pay it in one lump. How do we get on that? Oh yeah, but. Well, like when we first got Disney Plus, I mean, we instantly watched The Mandalorian, but after that, we kind of looked through there, and I put a few things on my list, but mostly it was stuff that I remember from when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, look, that's on there. I need to give that a rewatch. Oh, look, The Cat from Outer Space. I need to give that a rewatch.
Jack and I were looking through it the other night, and we were like, oh, man, I haven't seen that. Like, damn.
But I forgot that Disney Plus is like PG-13 and under, because I was expecting there to be a section of all the fucking 20th Century Fox shit. Or who did they buy? They bought
Fox.
They bought the entertainment division of Fox.
Right. So
I think 20th Century Fox Entertainment.
But like Alien and all that shit, they own all that stuff now. And I was like, okay, yeah, they'll throw that entire catalog on there. Oh, wait a second.
You may have to search it.
This is only PG-13. So they're not going to put shit like the Alien trilogy on there or anything like that.
Well, and plus you have to think it's not just Marvel and Star Wars stuff they had on Netflix. Like, they owned more... Like, because Disney owns so much. Yeah. There's more than just.
Well, all
the stuff that they still have on Netflix that they aren't allowed to put on Disney Plus.
Right, because we looked at the Star Wars section on Disney Plus, and like Last Jedi's not on there, and Solo's not on there.
Right.
But if you search them on Disney Plus, they will come up, and it will say, due to contractual obligations, this isn't available until blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Last Jedi, we get December 27th, and...
Solo's like February or
February
June
of
or some shit. It's a while, because they're still like HBO or Netflix? Who's got Solo?
It's Netflix.
Okay. So, yeah, but then I thought, okay, well, maybe they're just going to dump all that Fox stuff on Hulu. It's bundled because I guess Disney owns Hulu now. So I thought maybe they were like, okay, well, we'll just put everything that's PG-13 or above or anything we don't feel is appropriate for Disney Plus, we'll throw it on Hulu. But there hasn't been a huge change in Hulu. So I don't know. It's kind of like, well, what are they going to do with all this Fox shit? And maybe they're just running for contracts that Fox had for streaming services to run out. Maybe that's the deal. So, I mean, down the road, maybe it'll get good. But like you said, they may need to do something to entice people not to jump ship.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, man, they should have had some of that Marvel shit ready to go.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. We'll see. But I mean, hey, they should have had fucking Yoda plushies in the store too. They don't have that shit either.
The ones they have ready to go.
Yeah, we talked about this.
I wonder if this was a rush to push out Mandalorian like before Rise of Skywalker. Like, cause it does seem very like.
The only reason to do that is if they're somehow tied together in some way, and you don't want people watching Rise of Skywalker going, "What the fuck's that?"
Yeah.
So, is that another Yoda? Where'd that guy come from? Maybe they had to get the Mandalorian out to spill some backstory before the whole episode 9 comes out.
Yeah, merely speculation.
Speculation. We don't know anything.
Because, I mean, they could just come out with 3 fucking prequels to explain everything that happened.
Oh, my God. Prequels that slot in where? Between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens?
Yeah, why not?
So, okay. So, really, Rogue One was before Episode 4. The Mandalorian is the only property we have between Jedi and The Force Awakens, right?
Yes.
There's nothing else
Isn't the
there.
Star Wars Resistance?
Okay, I've heard that title. It's an animated thing, right?
It is. I haven't watched any of it.
Is it out?
It
Yeah.
is. Oh, it's
Oh.
been out. Yeah.
What, like on like Disney XD or something?
I think it's been Disney XD.
Well, how long
It's
has it
on
been
Disney
out?
Plus now.
It's on Disney Plus now, but it came out
Like
on
a
Disney
year?
XD.
One season? How long has it been out?
One or two.
No shit. I mean,
Yeah.
is that supposed to take place, what, between Jedi and The Force Awakens?
I'm looking
Is
it
that
up now.
supposed to tell us something? Okay, you guys
Yeah.
click. I got to get a drink.
Okay. There's one season. It came out last year. Season 2 is in. Yeah, they're making season 2.
Talk amongst yourselves. No
dead Talking amongst ourselves. Oh yeah, I had this. I saved this picture of a Star Wars timeline. That would tell me for sure, but I think Resistance did come between. Oh, here it is. Star Wars Resistance. Oh, it happens at the same time as The Force Awakens through the Rise of Skywalker. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay then.
So that would mean that Star Wars Resistance is after The Mandalorian. So yeah, then this is the first thing that we have between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
since you watch more of the animated stuff, was there a Wookiee Jedi? Like, was that Rebels or Clone Wars?
That was in Clone Wars. There was a rookie Padawan. In the episode they had where the little Padawans were building their first lightsabers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering that because
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at lightsabers a lot recently, and I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if we got like a Wookiee Jedi in Mandalorian?
Where's there a Wookiee?
In an
Padawan?
episode of the Clone Wars.
That's right. And Ahsoka takes those paddle. Okay.
They have that little lightsaber building
Right.
class thing.
So why is Resistance after the Mandalorian?
The little time chart thing I had says that Resistance takes place from the Force. The whole entire Resistance takes place during the whole entire new trilogy.
During.
Yeah.
So the Mandalorian is the only property that says anything about what happens between Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Yes.
That seems like a fucking gold mine
It does.
to harvest
They're gonna
somehow.
they're gonna definitely have to go into. Oh, I mean, I figured they would go into the rise of the First Order.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what Rian Johnson's supposed to do? Or
I don't know.
did his trilogy get canceled? No.
I thought
The
something else.
The Game
got
of
canned.
Thrones boys trilogy got canceled.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck those guys. But Rian Johnson's still doing one.
I haven't heard anything else about it, so I guess.
Maybe his will be. Somebody needs to tell some of that fucking story. Especially if there's another Yoda running around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say, now that I think about it. So, Mandalorian is 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So, that means in Return of the Jedi, that Yoda, Baby Yoda, is already 45 years old. So, where the hell is he?
Well, we talked about this before, and I think the episode where he was revealed, he was born before the events of Episode 1. We did this math.
But when I listened back to it, I left 10 years off or something. I
did?
fucked it up. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
So, if he's 50.
Yes. Would you like a pen to
So,
write this down?
so we decided that from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi was like 3 years, right?
Yes.
So, we'll take him to 45. We take him to 42.
Mm-hmm.
A New Hope is 19 years after Revenge of the Sith. So 42 minus 19, that's 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 23 years before Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, that's before Episode 1, right? Because Anakin's like 10, and then about maybe 9 years pass between Episode... 9 years pass between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, and then only like 3 or 4 years pass. So from Phantom Menace to Revenge of the Sith is like 14 years, 15 tops.
Mm-hmm.
In Attack of the Clones, This is your specialty, Nate.
Yes.
Anakin says I haven't seen her in how many years?
Oh, shit.
Hush up for a minute.
Oh, fuck.
Does he say 8, 9, 10?
Hush.
So, okay.
He was 9 in.
So we're going to say
Phantom Menace.
23. And if that's 50. Oh, yeah. So Baba Yaga was born before the Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember the line. Damn it. Time to rewatch it.
It might be 8 years. 8 feels good.
8 feels good.
Yeah. So, yeah. So clearly Baba Yaga was born before Phantom Menace.
Where the fuck has he been then?
I don't know. No clue. Is there a whole planet of those little Yoda people?
Prequel to the prequels.
I mean, I don't know. I don't, what the fuck? It's a mystery. Andrew, are you
I'm trying to find out
divining
how long,
something?
how
Okay.
long it was since he had seen her.
What about your fabulous Star Wars timeline? Does that have dates, or does it just
doesn't
say
have
this is
da- it
before
just-
this is before this?
It just shows where they all fall.
I'm sure you could probably Google Star Wars timeline and probably
Yeah.
get an image that had some years on there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, realistically,
I like how this little it's just a little graphic thing, but they labeled the first 3 movies as the Age of Republic, the middle 3 is the Age of Rebellion, and the last 3 is the Age of Resistance. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They all start with R's, you know. It's just a little neat thing. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, alliteration. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Huh.
Ha!
You like that, huh, Paul Rudd?
So is that episode 4?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to have to put a pin in this timeline thing. I just like to. I'm guessing we're saying that clearly Baby Yoda was born before Phantom Menace.
Yes.
If we're to believe that when he said it's 50 years old, we're talking about a scale of 50 years that everybody is on. Everybody's on the same scale of years. Because, I mean, you know, like a dog is 1 year, one of our years passed, but to him it's like 7 years. So when they say that little thing's 50 years old, is that like them saying, you know, well, in dog years he's 14, but in human years he's only 2. So they're saying, well, in Baby Yoda years he's 50, but really in our years he's only 5. But I mean, if we're to assume that when they say it's 50 years old, that means 50 years that everybody recognizes as a year, and everybody gauges the same year as the same thing.
Well, how old?
Then yes, he was born before Phantom Menace.
Do we know how old Yoda was?
When 900.
900.
Yeah. So totally believable that thing
Yeah.
is like 50 human.
Yeah,
years.
so I'm guessing that it's 50 standard years or whatever.
Well, I guess they're kind of playing off the line now. When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not. Yoda did look pretty good for 900. So, I mean...
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, another mystery there. The kid's been around. Well, that's the whole thing, you know. If the kid was around for the whole prequels and original trilogy, nobody ever saw him. And now we've seen The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and nobody has said shit about a baby or a Yoda character running around. So what the fuck? Where is he? Where's he been?
Maybe this is something that Jon Favreau and JJ got together about. Maybe Jon Favreau tried to get with Ryan Johnson about it, and Ryan Johnson was like, "No, fuck you and JJ and the horse you guys rode."
If you inject your character into my movie, I will kill that motherfucker.
Whoa!
Or ruin his backstory, motherfucker. Don't even bring your character up in this bitch. Yeah.
Baby Yoda's parents were just scavengers.
Yeah. He's the bastard son of a Mandalorian and a shock trooper. Anyway, so I thoroughly expect that the Emperor will kick the shit out of Rey and Kylo after they team up together, and then Baby Yoda or a new Yoda, teenage Yoda, will come surfing in on a fucking hoverboard with a purple lightsaber and be like, "Woo, this is the way!"
The way this is!
Yeah.
And have like an emo swoop coming down. He's going through a phase.
Yeah, man. He's going to have a white mohawk. And he's going to go, this is the way, bitches. Moof milkers.
The way this is.
Yep.
The way this is, kick your ass, I must.
No. He's going to be raised by the Mandalorian, man. He'll talk normal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He
Oh,
won't
you
have any
think
of that
so, huh?
weird, He won't have any of that weird diction going on. He'll be like...
The Rise of Skywalker is going to be the in-game equivalent of the Star Wars universe.
Oh,
You're going to start
no.
having all these fucking Force ghosts show up during the final battle.
Oh, yeah.
Every motherfucker will be there.
It'll be like that
Damn
scene
straight.
from Goblet of Fire. All the ghosts are flying at Emperor. Ooh.
Damn.
Turns out the Emperor's a ghost, and then Kylo and Rey have to off themselves so they can become
They can
ghosts,
fight him
and
as
it's
ghosts.
just one big giant ghost fight.
Ghost fight.
Fucking Anakin and Obi-Wan show up.
Now, do you think they'll digitally reanimate Alec Guinness?
No, I think that
It'd be
Ewan
Ewan
McGregor.
McGregor.
Okay.
Also, I still think that Hayden Christensen's going to be in it.
No.
I would love that.
I think because he was at that motherfucking Star Wars celebration thing that we did, signing autographs, and I was like, this motherfucker's been in a cave for fucking over 10 years.
Been in
Why
therapy.
Yeah, like
10
seriously, why the fuck is he here signing autographs now? And then
I
there
think
was
it would be cool.
And then there was this big thing where he recently went to Galaxy's Edge, the theme
Yeah, I
park,
saw
and
that.
everybody was freaking out.
I think it would be cool if he got a chance to redeem himself with a good director. I'm not saying anything bad about you, George. It's just,
Yeah, it would be pretty cool if he showed up as
It
a
would.
fucking ghost.
And kick some ass or something, or did something really epic or something like that,
Damn, wouldn't that be? That would just be so cool if you had Ewan McGregor, Mark Hamill, and Hayden Christensen, all as ghosts, just lined up right there.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
My
Yeah,
inner child would
I
just
mean,
be like,
I don't-
"Man, this is awesome."
But I don't want them to just stand there as ghosts giving advice. I mean, Ghost Yoda brought down some fucking
yeah.
lightning in
I was gonna say, kind of like
Last Jedi.
what Nate over there said about the Harry Potter ghosts. Like, we can have these fuckers use the Force as ghosts. I mean, it's the
It'd be
Force.
cool. It'd be
Yeah,
cool
I
if
mean,
they could, man.
They should probably have like a better connection to the Force than anyone alive has,
Jesus, since we're assembling the fucking Star Wars Avengers, get Qui-Gon Jinn in here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, here's the thing. Now, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda tells Obi-Wan, I got homework for you. And he's like, homework? He's
Yeah.
like, so apparently, because Qui-Gon was all about the living Force and all this shit. Apparently, he figured out how to be the first, Force ghost or whatever. Even though we didn't see him, Yoda's like, I've been talking to Qui-Gon and shit, and he's like, what? And he's like, I'll teach you how to talk to him and shit. And so that's why, like Obi-Wan fades away when he gets killed. But see, that's a fucked up thing. Qui-Gon, they burnt his fucking corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he was the first one.
Right.
so.
Well, Obi-Wan fades away. Yoda fades away. And they're Force ghosts. Okay.
They perfected it.
Now, Vader gets burnt, but he's a Force ghost. But so Qui-Gon tells Yoda, then Yoda tells Obi-Wan. So those three know how to do it. I would expect them to be Force ghosts. I don't know who the fuck told Vader, but he somehow is a Force ghost.
Emperor,
But I
Well,
wouldn't expect somebody like Mace Windu to show up as a Force
No.
ghost. Because, I mean, he dies. Nobody told him how to do it. Transubstantiate or
We
whatever.
didn't see him die.
He's dead.
No.
Shut up. He's dead.
No, he's Snoke. What are you talking about?
But, so I wouldn't expect to see, Kai Adamundi as a fucking
Yeah.
Force
Aw.
ghost or any bullshit like that. Ayla Secura. But I would, maybe you could get Qui-Gon. We've seen the Holy Trinity of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda in Force Ghost form. The only other one now we could see Luke maybe because he fades away.
Luke because Mark Hamill's in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the only other one I would expect maybe is Qui-Gon.
What about Leia?
No. No. Well, we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen to her. It'd be interesting to see if she fades away though, when she dies.
I still think it would be cool if she died with a lightsaber in her hand.
Well,
I talked about this on Thanksgiving.
I know, but I mean, where's she gonna get one?
Well, in one of the TV spots, she's holding the lightsaber.
Whose lightsaber?
Like the Rey's / Luke / Anakin's.
Yeah,
she's
but
holding
here's
it.
the thing, man. Rey and fucking Kylo broke that sumbitch in half.
Well, you're gonna find out how they fixed it, obviously.
Yeah, because we see them fixing his helmet.
But I mean, that's because they need more toys to sell, and you know, you got to sell a different Kylo Ren with a different helmet. But I don't. Yeah, I want to find out how people are fixing these fucking lightsabers and what the hell. You know, how's this shit getting made? I still am bothered by how Mary Sue Ray is. She's just good at everything. She just fucking knows everything automatically. She just, you know, now, she can just fashion fucking lightsabers and shit, you know. I mean, she did steal those books. Maybe the books tell you how to make a lightsaber. I don't fucking know.
Lightsabers for dummies.
But I thought you had to get a crystal and shit. And, is she going to fucking go off to that planet and get a fucking kyber crystal and all this bullshit so she can make a lightsaber and all this stuff? Well, okay. That's a lot of fucking effort. You think Leia's going to do that too?
Well, you don't. In Rebels, they introduced an idea that you don't actually have to go to that planet to get a crystal.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you get it?
What's
this idea you speak of?
So when this is like in season 1 or maybe season 2, but you know, when this rogue Jedi guy who survived, you know, picks up this kid that he finds out is force sensitive and he starts training him as Padawan, you know, he needs a lightsaber. So they go to the Jedi temple that's on that planet I was talking about, and it's like I don't think he calls it the trials, but it's like in the temple, it's like there's this door that you go through, and it's going to take you on a force journey, and you know you got to prove yourself worthy and all that bullshit and whatever. So he goes and does that, and the Padawan has a vision where Yoda shows up and is talking to him about the ways of the Force and what do you want out of this, and you know all the Force bullshit. And then at the end of the vision, Yoda gives him a kyber crystal. He snaps out of the vision, opens his hand, and there's the kyber crystal.
A little infinity stone there.
Convenient stone is convenient.
Yeah.
Convenient this is.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay then.
So there's that.
So that's Yoda's job in the afterlife, to sit around until some Padawan goes through a door to have a force dream,
Well,
and Yoda has
I
got to go. Give me a minute. Here's your stone.
At this point, Yoda would have been alive, though.
In Rebels?
Yeah, because it takes place between 3 and 4.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? Yoda was just hanging out on Dagobah, and he's like, someone needs a stone.
Maybe
Yoda's not very good.
Well, I mean, I'm sure.
Need a stone, you do.
Well, I mean, I'm sure because you know they make it very clear that 99.9% of the Jedi were wiped out in Revenge of the Sith. So I'm sure if Yoda gets a blip on his Force radar, he's like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
Snake soup must wait.
It's not a drill.
Must give Padawan a stone in his dream.
You know, Yoda must have had a nicer house, and every time he had to run out, he was cooking snake soup, so it got burned every time.
He'd come out of his force trance. Shit!
And he just have less and less of a house.
It's great. Damn. Seal off the east wing, I must.
Not again?
Hollowing out trees takes much time, yes.
Well, okay. I guess this is episode 4.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. This is the Star Wars rambling portion.
So, Scott, where can people reach us if they're just listening?
Son of a bitch. RazorCrestPitCrew at gmail.com and on Twitter at RCPitCrew. That's it. That's where you can find us.
Yeah.
I still haven't done the SoundCloud yet.
Yeah.
But I finished the slideshow for episode 2, And then I've got episode 3 tracks uploaded, and I've got the images saved, so I just have to whip that together. And we're recording 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I'm going to have 2, 3, and... Well, 2's uploaded. 2's on there already. But there's no way I'm going to get 3 and 4 done this week before episode 5 comes out. So, but I could probably get 3 done, and then we'll watch episode 5, and then on the weekend I can probably get the slideshow for 4 done, so it could go up, and then at some point we can do a podcast about episode 5. What's your weekend look like?
I'm in Atlanta all weekend.
Well, fucking shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got some substitutes now, just in case, if we need a third.
Oh, well, I'm not doing it without Andrew, man. We'll wait for him to get back.
I'll be back Monday.
Okay.
That's our drive back day. So.
I'm trying to think, because this week I think I only have to be out of town for 1 day, but the next week they're all like 1-day trips, but we'll figure something out.
I'm free all day on the 5th because I have
What day is that?
That is a Thursday.
Today's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday I'll be out of town, but I'll be back early afternoon. So
that's a study day for me. Study.
What do you?
I'm just looking at my schedule.
Oh, okay.
No, 5th.
Why I can't? In the. Well, shit, I don't know, because it's different in 2 places now.
Huh? What's different in what places? What?
Our schedule is done through Google Sheets,
Mm.
and our boss will he'll only release certain cell changes that he makes, whenever he's done with them or whatever. So he can always see more of it than we can.
Oh,
and he
okay.
selects what
he
is
wants everybody
revealed
to know.
publicly. But he sometimes will make adjustments to shows, but then not update the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know I'm on a show this weekend. I have to go to the show sheet to see the travel day because it's not updated on the calendar. So I leave on Friday.
You damn media people and your shows and your planes and shit.
This is why I'm a single cam guy.
I'll be doing Miss Universe this weekend.
Ooh.
Asterisk the Mexican feed.
Oh.
What?
So it's Miss Universe, right? So it's going to be broadcast in multiple languages.
Right.
We are contracted
doing...
through one of the Mexican TV
Telemundo!
affiliates. It's not Telemundo, it's TV Azteca.
Okay. TV Azteca.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna show up. We'll put up 2 cameras, have some hosts, and we'll take a feed in, and they will translate it. And
a separate host. Well, like sitting in a booth commenting on shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vamos rápido, arriba, arriba.
So who got the English speaking?
It's probably one of the bigger monopoly production companies.
The Latino Universe. Well, no, it's just Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Either.
Wow. Sounds exciting, man. That's next weekend or this week?
Coming weekend.
Oh, okay. So next week in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry Studios.
Ooh. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will be sitting here and not thinking about watching Mrs. Universe. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I'll be forced to watch beautiful women walk around on a stage. It's a hard life sometimes.
It is. What are you doing? Are you audio camera guy? What are you doing?
I'm the co-engineer of the truck.
Ooh, the guy in the truck. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
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 What's that noise?
What do you think?
I had Mexican. I've been doing it all throughout the podcast.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time with episode 5, the Bill Burr episode. Good night.